Hey there guys, Mike here. Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection is back with another episode. And today guys, I'm going to focus on the director Howard Hawks. You've probably heard of him. He's worked with so many legendary stars, famously Cary Grant and John Wayne, James Stewart, I believe. He's worked with quite a few people. And here recently, I was able to pick up some new movies of his to add to my collection that I'd never had before. And in fact, never seen those movies before. So I was really, picking up some missing movies I needed by him. And some of them turned out to be some really good ones and a lot of oddball ones and stuff. So let's go through the newer pickups that I picked up here lately. Let's see here. The first one, then, this is a movie, I've never had this on physical media before. I remember a very long time ago, I almost got it on VHS, but I never did. But it was always on TV and stuff, and it was colorized, and then there was, the black and white version and stuff. But this is a movie from 1941, starring Gary Cooper. This is Sergeant York, and really good movie, good war movie, kind of a biography to a certain degree. I guess probably took some liberties with York's life. Gary Cooper plays Sergeant Alvin C. York. He's from Tennessee. He was kind of a wild guy, kind of had an aimless life. He was just getting drunk and running through the woods of Tennessee and trying to take care of his mom and his brother and sister and stuff. And then when World War II comes about, or World War I, he enters, and he ends up being one of the great riflemen. And I believe he was infantry, I believe, and then he was a sniper, if I'm not mistaken. But really good movie, 1941. It's got a great performance by Walter Brennan. It's got Joan Leslie. Pretty good. This is the 2-disc DVD. Now it's on Blu-ray, I believe. But I wanted to go for this one. It's a 2-disc. It had more extras on it and everything. And I love these mid-2000s Warner Brother releases. Hopefully, try to avoid the ones that had rot and stuff, but I watched it, everything's fine on it. But yeah, Sergeant York, added that. Next up, this is a DVD from the Warner Archive Collection starring James Cagney and Joan Blondell. The Crowd Roars. Really good Warner Brothers movie from 1932. James Cagney was just building his star status. I mean, the year before he had done The Public Enemy and got a lot of acclaim and notoriety for it. And this is a kind of a racing movie. Cars, not quite like Indy cars, but like I forgot what class of car those were then. But basically, Cagney's a famous racer, and he's winning all these awards, and he comes back home, and his little brother, which is, he's probably like 5 years younger, just really wants to emulate him, just really looks up to him, wants to be a racer himself. And he's been building his own car and doing all these local races and stuff. And eventually Cagney wants him to come with him, be on his team, And of course there's jealousy of a woman kind of comes between them. Stuff like that, but it's a really good movie. It's got some great race scenes. It's got some great kind of behind the scenes of the cars at that time, the racing type cars. and everything. So it's really cool. And Howard Hawks directed it, so it's just a little fast one from him, and everything. But yeah, a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed that, actually. And so yeah. So next up, this is one from 1930. This is from the Warner Archive, starring Richard Barthelmess, which he was a pretty big star in the late 20s and early 30s. This is called The Dawn Patrol. And this was a pretty famous movie for its aerial shots and some of the photography and everything like that. And it's a good movie based on like kind of a World War I type of thing. Howard Hawks, I believe, was a pilot. I believe he piloted stuff. I don't believe he was in the war. I can't remember if he was in the war or not. He may have been too young. But anyways, The Dawn Patrol, good movie. It clocks in at almost 2 hours, but it's just a huge, just a big air epic. It's just a huge stuff like that. So if you really like that, The Dawn Patrol is really good. I wanted to, on a side note, talk about another movie basically close to the same time, but this movie was made by Howard Hughes. And I thought I read somewhere, I'm not 100%, that Howard Hawks had something to do, like he helped Howard Hughes out with this somehow. But anyways, this is a movie I just wanted to kind of show as kind of an extra. That has nothing to do with Howard Hawks officially, but I wanted to show Hell's Angels. Really cool, early sound movie, 1930. I think it was filmed first as a silent movie, and then when sound came in, Howard Hughes held it back from being released to re-record it in sound. They used a lot of the aerial stuff still, but they reshot the whole movie in sound. Famously has Jean Harlow in it. It was one of her first features, starring roles. Before that, she had appeared in shorts, famously Laurel and Hardy short films, like 30-minute short film comedy shorts. This has Ben Lyon and James Hall in it, and it really does have a lot of great aerial shots and stuff in it. It really is really cool. I believe there's a Zephyr airship blows up in one of the scenes. This was famously restored by UCLA in the, I believe, the late 80s. And I first saw this on TV like in the early 90s. I think they showed it on AMC or something like that. And it was a pretty big deal. They put back colored scenes and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. So I just wanted to give you that as kind of an extra recommendation. I would say if you're really wanting to see aerial dogfights and early plane and war type situation, war movies and stuff, I would recommend Hell's Angels and The Dawn Patrol and even the silent movie Wings. All three of those have great stuff. Here's another one I picked up. This is a first time watch. This is I've never seen this before. It was a really interesting movie. It's got a great cast from 1935, The Barbary Coast, which is kind of outside of the San Francisco type area around in there. Back in the early days, I believe this is like in the late 1849. There was a gold rush and stuff like that. So yeah, this is early California. It stars Miriam Hopkins, Edward G. Robinson, and Joel McCrea. Three actors I really like. And Miriam Hopkins plays this kind of a mysterious woman. It opens up when she's getting off this ship to meet this guy that she's supposed to marry. He's kind of a big shot. Well, on her way there, he had passed away. He died or something in a ballroom fight, a barroom fight or something. And so she's left without, any means at that point. So she basically kind of becomes her own person and kind of builds up her empire and kind of joins forces with Edward G. Robinson, who's this real character. it's kind of interesting. It's kind of unlike Edward G. Robinson to play a character like this. He's he's a crook in the town, kind of a big shot or crook, like almost like a gangster mobster or something for that time period, and runs a bar, runs a casino type of thing, and so yeah, it's kind of a power struggle. It's a lot of juicy pre-code. Well, it wasn't pre-code, but there's some pretty juicy melodramatic type moments in it. It's pretty cool. Joel McCrea's really good, kind of playing the not the hero of the movie, but how good role for him. But yeah, pretty interesting movie. I would definitely watch this again sometime, but it's odd. I would have never thought Howard Hawks would make that movie for some reason. Keeping with Edward G. Robinson, this is a Warner Archive Collection release, also from he did some. Oh yeah, the Cagney movie was from 32. This is also from 32. It's called Tiger Shark, and this time Edward G. Robinson's also playing a pretty different character. He's got one hand, the other hand's got like a hook on it or something that a shark bit it off, and pretty interesting movie. Edward G. Robinson plays Mike. Can't pronounce his last name. He's got a crazy last name. The blustery, socially awkward San Diego trawler captain with a hook for a left hand and is getting married. The one problem, Mike's bride, played by Zita Johann, I believe I pronounced her name right. That same year, she was in Universal's The Mummy. She's to Boris Karloff's Mummy. She's the girl that falls in love with him. She has eyes for Mike's crewman and friend, played by Richard Arlen. Tiger Shark's storyline of a red-blooded working man in love with the same woman would surface again in Warner's Slim and Manpower, two other movies. And before those three titles, they knew what they wanted. The Pulitzer Prize-winning Sidney Howard play that reportedly provided a seed of inspiration for director Howard Hawks. Yet even more powerful than the durable tale of a love triangle are Tiger Shark's scenes of commercial fishing, the strikes, the reeling in, and the danger of the circling sharks. And I'd have to agree about that. It's got a lot of great, shots of, the ship, bringing fish in and out and hunting sharks, and the photography of the sharks and different stuff. Really cool. Makes it it's kind of an exciting side to a story that could just turn into a melodrama by any other director, but pretty interesting. It's a great little pre-code movie, pretty interesting. So yeah, I'd watch that again. Next up, this is a John Wayne movie that I've never seen before, and really I'd never really watched it because it wasn't one of his westerns, or it wasn't this or that. I kind of thought maybe it was just kind of a silly comedy or something like that. But this is 1962 Hatari. And this is a dual DVD with El Dorado, but picked this up. It was so cheap I couldn't resist. I mean, I already had El Dorado, of course, but it's basically kind of a semi-comic movie. It's got good moments. It's got a great little cast in it, and basically John Wayne's like a hunter in Africa. He's like a big game hunter. They like bring in. There's some really good scenes when it opens up where they're trying to corral some animals, a hippo or something. It shows some dangerous scenes in it and stuff, and it's really cool how they did it. It doesn't look fake. It's like and stuff. So yeah, pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a lighter side of things, but it's got some really good dramatic action scenes in it. Next up, this is another movie that I had never heard of and never seen before. And this is from the 20th Century Fox Cinema Archives, burned on demand disc. This is a movie called The Road to Glory. And it's from 1937. It stars Frederick Marks, Warner Baxter, and Lionel Barrymore. And basically, this is another World War I movie, and it's pretty good actually. It's kind of like if you like, it's in no way as good as Kubrick's Paths of Glory, but if you like Paths of Glory, it kind of deals with the French and the Germans, of course, and stuff like that. Some of the behind the scenes army stuff, and really good action scenes and everything, and it's a very interesting movie, and I'll definitely come back to it again, but I would recommend, if you're even halfway interested in it, to find a copy of it, because it is going up in price. It's out of print, and I believe this is the only release of it and everything, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, The Road to Glory. I thought I was buying a used copy of it, and ended up getting a brand new copy when I got it. I always like it when that happens. So now I'm going to show 4 movies that are classics by Howard Hawks that you need to check out if you have never seen any of these movies before. First off, this is 1943's Air Force, and I remember recently watching a couple YouTubers talk about the Warner Brothers rot issue, their DVD rot issue that affected Warner Brothers discs from like 2002 to 2009 or 2004. It's like a 4 or 5 year period of a lot of their discs were manufactured at this plant, and apparently there was no quality control, and a lot of them got messed up and stuff like that. And just now, all these years later, a lot of people are experiencing that because their discs are finally rotting and they won't play and stuff. So, but this is one of the movies that they both featured in their videos, was Air Force, and this is the archive collection one. This is the one that's come out since that disc. This is like a repressing, so it's has no rod on it or anything like that. So just look for the archive, the Warner Archive DVD collection. Really good war movie. What can I say? World War II. John Garfield, Gig Young, Harry Carey Sr., George Tobias, Arthur Kennedy, James Brown. No relation to the Godfather of Soul, James Brown. Who else is in this? But yeah, this is another movie for World War II, or by Warner Brothers for World War II. Everybody was doing those movies, and it's a really good movie. John Garfield's a real standout in this, so I really recommend this, Air Force. And this was a movie that I was going to have this as one of my movies I love to rewatch episode, but I decided to just go ahead and put it in with the Howard Hawks to talk about it. So this is a Criterion Blu-ray of Only Angels Have Wings, from 1939 at Columbia Pictures. It stars Cary Grant, Jean Arthur, and a great supporting cast. Oh man, there's too many people to mention. They're not on this. They don't mention them right here, but this is a really good movie, clocking in at a minute past 2 hours. It is a really good tale of this South American kind of an airport that runs mail to different parts of it. It's kind of a remote area, and it's very dangerous with the tropical weathers and weather, and trying to land in the jungle, and all the different things that happen. A lot of the pilots have been killed and stuff like that, and they deal with the passing of some people. And really, it's a movie like if you enjoyed Howard Hawks, like what's the one, His Girl Friday, where it's got it's dialogue, but this has got the action and all the stuff to back it up with. It's got some pretty great little miniatures and stuff going on, but I couldn't go into detail about this and really sell it to you. Just take my word for it. Do some research on this. But it's a really good one, and definitely recommend this Criterion edition of it, because I don't know how many times I've watched this, but I just really like it a lot. Cary Grant and Jean Arthur are just great together. They really work well. So yeah, there you go. And Only Angels Have Wings. Next up, this is a bona fide classic that you probably have heard about it. This is based on an Ernest Hemingway story from 1944, starring Bogey and Bacall. To Have or Have Not, or To Have and Have Not. One of their famous movies. This is where Bogey met his future wife, Lauren Bacall, and it's just an all-around great movie. It's got Walter Brennan in it. It takes place during, I guess, World War II, I believe, or maybe around that time. But yeah, it's kind of like, it's in this, how do I explain this? Well, you know the story. I'm trying to think of where it's at and the time and the place, but I can't really place it exactly. But anyways, To Have and Have Not, I know you've heard of it. Really good movie. I mean, I come back to this a lot. There's a lot of great dialogue between Bogey and Bacall. This is where she famously says, "You know how to whistle, Steve, and put your lips together and blow." So, anyways, and finally, guys, another Bogey and Bacall movie, and I still have this old edition of this. I got a snapper case of this still. I need to get this on Blu-ray. But the reason I have this one is because it's got the two versions. It's got the release version, and then it's got the preview version that came out first, and then they trimmed it, and then it was the theatrical cut after that. But this is The Big Sleep. And it's got the two versions on there. I'm not really sure if the Blu-ray has that or not. I'm not sure. I'll have to check into that. But it definitely, I need to upgrade it. It's just, you know, this snapper case has seen better days. But man, another great movie with Bogart this time as Philip Marlowe. Apparently the book written by, who was it by? It's like some people. Oh, Raymond Chandler. It was a Raymond Chandler book, but famously William Faulkner and Leigh Brackett and Jules Forthman worked on it. They were some of the best writers in Hollywood at the time, and it's based on Raymond Chandler's novel. And it's got a younger Dorothy Malone. Martha Vickers is in it, but really cool. And it's got a great little documentary on here. Comparing the 1945 preview version and the 1946 release version. But yeah, I think UCLA restored it back at one point and stuff. But yeah, The Big Sleep, man, it's one of my favorite Bogey movies. Really good. Humphrey Bogart is just so good in this movie. I mean, he's doing all this stuff as Philip Marlowe, the detective. I mean, there's some cool scenes. There's a funny scene at a bookstore, and it's kind of got a seedy story. And I'm surprised it passed some of the ratings people at that time, because they were such, you know, tight asses back then that, you know. But yeah, it deals with a pornographer and just money and different stuff like it. It's really interesting. But yeah, I would pair this with the Maltese Falcon, and that'd be a good double feature. So there you go, guys. What do you think about that? What do you like, Howard Hawks? Yeah, if you do, let me know in the comments about Howard Hawks and some of these movies and stuff. But yeah, definitely check out those newer ones I showed you. You know, before you buy it, of course, kind of read up on it, make the decision. But I really think they're very interesting, especially movies like Tiger Shark, which is like this kind of very interesting pre-code. And then just The Road to Glory was a movie from 1937 that I had never heard of and stuff. Just very interesting stuff, and just surprised that I didn't really know about them beforehand and stuff. So But yeah, Howard Hawks has done a lot of great movies. I've featured a lot of his movies on this channel. But yeah, I got a lot. But there's still some more I need to fill in to my Howard Hawks collection. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my channel. Until next time, guys, I'm Mike. Have a good time. Watch good movies.